Hello, what's up? What's going on? Nivi here. I wanted to make a quick video showing a trick. It's a new technique that I've come up on. I've been talking a lot to Led, and we've been having conversations about this technique that helps you out with the thermo. I've always had a problem. I've always had a problem with the thermo as far as painting goes. uh, I always seem to run out of thermo because I try to get a lot of detail into the paintings, and the thermo always runs out at 100%, and I can't really make it as realistic as I wanted to. So I started messing around, and I came up on a new technique that really helps me out a lot. So my paintings have improved because of this new technique. It takes a little bit of extra time, but it's worth it. The extra time it takes you is worth it. So I'm gonna show you. I'm basically gonna go into my paintings and kind of take them apart and show you what it is that I'm doing. So to show you what's going on and how I've improved by this new method. So I'm gonna give you I'm gonna show you this one I just recently did. This little painting I just recently did. So this picture of this baby here, I just did it like 2 nights ago. For this one, I didn't do the new technique. I didn't have to because it's a baby face and it doesn't have that much detail in the face. It's just it's nice and soft, and there's not like a lot of wrinkles or anything like that. So there's really not much texture in here. So I didn't have to do that new method. I didn't have to do it here. This is the old way basically. I did this picture the old way. As you can see though, see how thin it is. That's one thing. When you get the canvas, it gives you about 6% when you make it this thin. So when you first start off, the first thing you do is make the canvas thin like this, and it'll give you about 6% thermal. So I didn't use the trick on this one because before I even started the picture, I knew that I wasn't gonna have to use the trick, the new trick. I was able to do it without it. As a matter of fact, like if I go to edit, if I go to edit, I'm gonna show you. Let me turn this off. Okay, right now it's 8%, right? If I scope into it, it's at 79% thermal. And this is the old way. So I didn't have to, you see 79%, that's just me painting on this one big piece. On this one big piece of canvas, 79%. And I knew I wasn't gonna hit the 100% because there's not that much here. There's barely any texture. There's no wrinkles. Everything is just simple. It's pretty simple. So this is at 79%. Now I'm gonna show you the other paintings, and I'm gonna show you why. How do you decide to do it this way or to do it the new way that I'm doing it? So I'm gonna get out of here. So just think about that. This is 79% painting on one single canvas. This is all one canvas, 79%. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna show you the other ones. The Tom, this one, the Tom painting is doing it the new way. Okay, so I'm gonna go to this one back here and show you. Let me see. Let's see how far can I go. because I've just started doing this new method. So this painting here, if you look at it, I would just go to edit. Let me see. See, if I go to this painting here, this is the old method. And you see this? I even forgot to do this because I wasn't doing it. This is before I started doing the new technique. You see how thick that is, the canvas? So you don't want that. You don't want to do that. It's gonna take about 6% thermal from you. Now this, I mean, it's still good if you see, you know, it's got a little texture on there. You know, it still came out good. If I go to the, let me go to the, if I go to edit, I'm gonna show you. See, right now it's, if we look at the thermal, it's at 10% thermal. Okay. If I scope into it, it's at 94%. So I still have a little bit that I can do to it. At 94%, I could still go to like 100, 101. But to me, I was done with it. I don't have to. These birds are going crazy over here. What's wrong with these birds? They're going crazy. Hold on a second. What's all this noise you guys got going on over here? Chirping like crazy. Okay. So I'm at what was it, 94%? And this is the old way. Um, and it's all one piece. Now I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go to where is it? Tools, stretch. I'm gonna click on stretch. So we saw how thick the canvas is, right? This is the default block that you get when you first start off. So I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna stretch it down to be that thin, right? And this is something you have to do before you start painting on it. I'm still at 94 because there's probably like paint and all kinds of stuff back there for that goes through or something. So just look at what's going on here. This is one canvas. It's one canvas, and I'm at 94%. So I could, if I wanted to, I got a little bit left, but the majority of my old paintings, I was hitting 100% on one canvas, and I couldn't do any more. You can't do any more. You can't edit. You can't do anything. You can't delete. You can't erase or anything. So that was frustrating me a lot when I was doing a lot of these paintings. So I'm gonna show you. Let me see. I'm just gonna go to my collection. Let me see, where's the collection? Collection. Where is it? It's around here somewhere. That's what happened here too with this Scarface. That's what happened here too. I think see, look how thick that is. And I had to put some kind of filter on there because I ran out of thermal. That's what happened with that. So let me go. Let me show you something else here. I want to show you first all the old stuff that I was doing and what was going on with the limit and how I can break the limit now. So where's the fire marshal? Okay. This is the fire marshal build. right? If you look at it, let me see. Let me turn this on. If you look at it, it's got some nice, you know, it's nicely detailed, right? Got some good detail on there, and everything is separated. So if we go here, let me see if it shows the thermal for the whole thing. Okay, it says 19% thermal. But this is the new trick that I was doing. This is how I'm pulling off, how I'm able to pull off uh the the more realistic uh way of doing this. Watch this. So this is how I'm doing this. You see that? I'm not sure if the eye too. No, okay, the eye is not. So this is how I'm able to do this. Is if you have one canvas and you're painting on one canvas, the thermo, when it fills up to 100, is going to fill up to 100 for that one canvas, for the whole picture. But if you do it like this, it's going to give you 100% thermo for each thing. So the shirt is going to be 100%. This hat is going to be 100%. The mouth, this face, the shield, everything. So if I scope into the hat, see, the the thermal is at 58% for the hat. If I scope into the teeth, you know, to the mouth here, if I scope in, let me see, where is it? Let me see. Oh, it's showing. It's not even hitting. It's not even hitting the shapes thermal yet. It's just there. I'm not. I don't remember the sculpture shapes. Is that's the thermal that worries me all the time. And this goes up after a certain amount. I don't know exactly at what percent. Maybe 50. So that's why for here it doesn't even pop up yet because it hasn't even gotten to that yet. The shirt, scope into the shirt, it hasn't hit that limit yet. I know for the face, I did get that hit that limit. So I scope into the face and it's at 87% just for the face. The face is 87 and the hat is 58%. So when you split everything up, when you have everything split up separately, you can go way past 100% thermal because each piece is its own thermal 100% thermal limit. So I'm gonna put all of this back, and that's how I'm able to pull that off. If think about this, if the face by itself is 87%, right? It's 87%, and I have 100% limit thermal. I wouldn't be able to do this hat with this much detail because it only gives you 100% or 101%. So if I were to do this as a single painting, the whole thing, I would be able to do all the details in the face, but then I wouldn't be able to do all these details in the hat. I would get cut short, and not be able to do all this other stuff. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna show you how I do this too, the whole preparation. So let me get out of here. So the Brad Pitt, I redid it because I wasn't happy with how I did it the first time. This Brad Pitt was one of my original paintings, and I wasn't happy with it at all. I didn't get it to where I wanted it. It wasn't it wasn't where I wanted it to be. So let me see. Even though, let me see, did I? Okay, see? You see that? Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you the old version. Let me see if I have the old version. Okay, this was the old version that I did of this Brad Pitt. Let's see. And I wasn't happy with this at all. After I finished it, I made it and everything, but I wasn't happy with it. And this is actually when I first started messing around with this technique. Uh, but um, I didn't like the outcome because I was doing something. I was doing something wrong. I was trying to use the sculpt tool. Uh, I was using the sculpt tool. In this new way, I don't use the sculpt tool at all. In the new way, I'm doing just painting. See, so if you look at it, I actually sculpted the nose. You see, and the lips or whatever, all that stuff. And I didn't like how that turned out. So what I did, I remade it. And when I remade it, it turned out like this. And as you can see, I got way more detail in this version. See, I was able to do way more detail. And again, this is the new way of doing it. So if I scope in, I can do this. See, that's one shape there. The eyes are something else, and then the shirt is something else, and then the background is something else. So if I scope into the shirt, I think there's two layers here, but it's at 88%. See, that's 88%. If I scope into the eyes, it doesn't even show because the eyes didn't make it to that limit. And then the background, of course, I'm not sure what. See that doesn't. If it doesn't pop up here on the bottom left, it means that it didn't even reach the limit. So I'm gonna put that back, and that's how I'm pulling that off. Let me get out of here. But I'm gonna show you how I do this. Let me see. Oh, let me show you. So these are my first, the first paintings that I was doing. That I really want to redo them because they didn't. I wasn't doing this method at first. So if I look at this, let me see. This is the dream. This is the first painting I ever did. And if you look at it, if you look closely, you can see that the hair, the green hair, is basically that was like the last piece that I did to the picture, and because I was running out of thermo. And if you look at it, it looks kind of like I rushed through it or something because the thermo, I hit the thermo limit and I couldn't get it as realistic as I wanted. But now, if I wanted to, I can go back and remake this, and I can make it as realistic as I want, because now I can make the hair as one shape, and I got 100% limit just for the hair, and then I got 100% limit just for the face. You see what I mean? And then the mouth, the teeth can be its own shape. The eyes can be its own shape. So I'm not held back by 100% for the whole picture. If I do it the new way, I can do 100% for each thing and make it as realistic as I want. So if I wanted to, I could go back and improve this. Like, it would look like a more improved version of this picture. So I'm not sure whether to just leave it alone or remix it and do a newer version and remix it, or I don't know. I don't know yet. Same thing happened with this. if you look at it, if you look at it, as you can see, it came out all right as far as the face. Yeah, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how I cut it out. I use the grid first, and I make copies, and then I use the I just cut out the shapes. So what's up, Beetle? I didn't know it was you in there, man. So if you look at this picture, I want to redo it because I know that I can make this like 100% better. So the face came out all right, but then the blood kind of looks it kind of looks drawn on. It looks like a marker or something. It doesn't look as good as I would want it to do, want it to be. So what I can do is I can do the face in high detail with my 100% limit just for the face. I would make the teeth or the inside of the mouth another piece, his eyes another piece, and then the blood that's on his face, it would be another piece itself. So 100% thermo just on blood. So imagine what it would look like if I remade this. It would look way better than how it is now. So if I go, let me see, versions and releases. Let me go to this. Uh, let me see. I just want to show. Okay, if you look at it, just like that, it's 10%. But if you click on it, scope in, it's at 101% thermo. I have no more room to do anything to this picture. It's done. It doesn't the game. It doesn't care if you're not done. If you're not happy with it, it's over. You're done. You can't do anything else to it. See, 101% thermal. You're finished. That's it. And look at this. Look at this mistake that I made here too. Is what I was saying earlier. Always shrink the canvas. So as you can see, you see the blood. It doesn't look as good as I wanted it to. Look, you see, it's not good. It could be better. It could be way better. So let me get out of here. I'm gonna show how I do this thing. Same thing happened with the Kareem picture. It's like, yeah, you look at it, you say, oh cool, that's Kareem. Yeah, it looks like Kareem. But look at the hair and look at the beard. You know, it's like I had to put a filter on it, some kind of like gradient effects or something on it because I hit that thermal limit and I couldn't keep going. You know. So if you go here, if I go here, I go to edit, uh, scope in, it's at 99%. So if you look at it, it doesn't have a lot of details. It looks kind of cartoonish, but it's at 99% thermal. I can't do anything else to this, you know. So I might redo this one too. I might have to go back and redo it and have the hair as one shape, the face as another shape, the teeth as another shape, and then the beard as a separate shape, and then his shirt as a different shape. And then I could do it however I want. So what else? What else do I have here? With the Chucky and the Bruce Lee, I didn't have any problems because those are simple. The Chucky is almost like the baby. It doesn't have a lot of. It's just soft. It doesn't have a lot of texture in the skin or anything. Same with Bruce Lee. If you look at it, there's not much there. There's not a lot of texture or anything. And it's simple. It's just black hair, the black shirt, and the face. I don't think I even hit the 100% for those. So let's go to this new stuff. This is where I'm gonna show you. This is behind the scenes type thing right here. This is Tom Dent. Okay? Let's take this off. So if I would have done this the old way, it wouldn't have looked like this. It would have came out looking like the Kareem picture. It wouldn't have looked so realistic. The reason it came out looking realistic better is because of this technique that I'm using. So if I scope in, it's cut up into pieces. Here we go. I'm gonna show you the pieces. These are the pieces. There you go. Those are all the pieces for time. And it's the only way I could pull off this trick of making it this realistic. It's the only way. So if I scope in to his face, it's at 101% thermo, as you can see here. I'm gonna scope out, which means, just so you to get in perspective, which means that if that just the face would have taken up 101%. That's without the teeth, without the eyes, without the shirt. 101%, just the face. Just so you can see what I'm talking about. If I were to do it the old way, at 101%, I wouldn't be able to do this kind of detail on these eyes and this kind of detail on the teeth or anything like that. It's the only way I could pull this off is by cutting it out like this and having it as separate pieces. I'm gonna put that back, and that's how that's done. Now I'm gonna do a quick little drawing just to show you how it is that I'm doing this. Let me see. This one I didn't do. I said I didn't have to do that. Okay. So I'm gonna start one fresh, right? And I'm gonna show you how I do it. So start fresh, new element. So the first thing I do is I turn the grid on. I turn the grid on. I grab this block with L2 and the left joystick, and I stand it up. And then I back up a little. I just like that, okay? And then you could turn the floor off if you want to turn the floor off. So once I have this up like this, I'm gonna scope in, go over here to guide. Is it guides? No, it's tools. I'm gonna go to stretch. Now watch the thermo too. Let's turn this on just so you can see it. It's at one. Let me see. What is it? 1%. So I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna shrink it down. Should be good like that. It really shows you that you get that thermal back when you have some paint on it, but I haven't put any paint on it. So always make sure you do that. After that, I'm gonna turn the grid off. Okay, turn the grid off. Then we're gonna go to scope in. Always have surface snap. Come over here to guides. Make sure always when you're painting on a canvas, always come over here to surface snap. And then I always use a sphere to paint. And then you go over here to tools and you go over here to spray paint. So now what's gonna happen is whenever you're painting, it's gonna be stuck. It's stuck to the canvas because you turn this surface snap on. So the airbrush is gonna paint on the canvas. It's not gonna be just floating around in the air. It's gonna be stuck to the anything you paint will be stuck to the canvas. So if I grab black, let's say, it's stuck. It's stuck on there. It's not gonna be, off of it or anything. It's gonna be right on it. So this is how I do this. Let's say I'm gonna paint a face. First of all, let's get this white. I'm gonna do something simple. Okay. So like the Tom painting. Let's say he has a red shirt, right? Let's say this is just something quick, just to give you an idea. So if I'm gonna paint the shirt, I'm just spray painting the shirt. Okay. Now I'm gonna pick a color for the face. Let's say this is the head, right? And this is the neck. Let's say this is the ears. Now let's say he has a hat on, or you can give him some hair. Let's say he has some hair, and this is a simplified little portrait here that I'm doing just to show you how this is done. This isn't high detail anything here. Just giving you an idea. Let's put some teeth in there, inside of the mouth, right? We could do. I'll just pick this color instead of using pick that color. Okay. So this would be the bottom of the jaw. I'm doing this with the DS4. I'm not using motion controls. This is just so you can get an idea of how it is that I do this. It's simple. It just takes time. It takes a little bit of time. Let's do something like that. Okay. I could do the eyes too, like that a little bit. Okay. So we have that's just the basic painting here of a portrait, let's say. The next thing that I do is I turn the grid on. I go over here to guides, turn the grid on, I'll make it a little bit bigger. We could do 2. And I'll make a copy for each thing. So the face would be a copy. The neck is another copy. The shirt, the teeth, the mouth or whatever, the eyes, and then the hair. You can actually cheat your way by making the ears separate too. If you don't want to, like if you're gonna do a lot of details in the ears, just if you got some hair right here or this line could go up here, and have the ears as separate too. So what I do now is I think about how many copies do I need. I need 1 copy for the shirt, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna need 6 copies. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 copies. So what I do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the way this works is, you know, you can, if you wanted to, you can grab gadgets and go over here to text displayer, and you can put it on there if you wanted to. This is if you wanted to make it easier for you. And here you could just put face, right? And make sure it's in the you go over here and put it in the scene so you can see it in the scene. So now when you look at this layer, you can see when you click on it, you can see that it's for the face, right? So that this layer is for the face. And then if you want to do it for this one, same thing. You go over here, you can copy it actually, or you could just whatever, grab another one, text displayer. This is just to help you out so you won't lose track of what you're doing. So the same thing. You go to end scene, and then here you could put mouth. So like that, when you're looking at it, you know what's what. You don't have to do this, but if it can help you out, you can do it to help you out. Hold on. So next step is okay, we got all the layers, so we can say this is face, mouth, hair, neck, shirt, whatever. So if this layer is the face, this first one is the face, you turn the grid off, scope into it, and as you can see, I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna cut this out. So I'm gonna go to the smear shape, and I'm gonna hit triangle because I want to cut it out. And I could turn off the surface snap, so I won't do that. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna cut the face out. Oh yeah, another thing I forgot to do before you do any of this copying, before you do any of this copying on the first one, on this first canvas, always make sure you go over here to tools, because if you look at it, you see how fuzzy it looks. That's because the detail is low. So you go to tools, you go to sculpture detail, and you increase the detail. Make sure it turns red. You see how it's going up on the thermo? Make sure it goes red. So see how it's red now? This is red. You see this is blue because this is the original one. You want it to be red. And once it's red, then you make all the copies. So you want this to be red. Make sure this is red and not blue. Like that you can get the best detail as possible. Because if you leave it blue, if you leave the sculpture detail, if you leave it on blue, it's gonna look fuzzy. You're not gonna have high detail or none of that. You're gonna make sure you go to sculpture detail and click add until it turns red. And once you have this red, then you make the copies. This here, I messed up. I forgot to do the sculpture detail before I made the copy. But make sure you do this first, and then make copies of this like that. This will be red, 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 all the way down. So all of the layers will be red. The face, the teeth, everything. You see how much better it looks? You see the difference between this one that's red and this one that's blue. You see that? You're not gonna be able to get high detail, with something looking like that, all, blotchy like that. You want it to be like this. You want it to be as sharp as possible and as detailed as possible. So I'm gonna sculpt back into this and keep cutting away at this. So I'm gonna cut this out. Oop, messed up. Huh? Okay. So you cut this out here. You don't have to worry about anything else because it's the face that we're gonna work on. So you cut everything out, and it doesn't matter if you get it, like if you don't cut it right and anything like that, because you could always come back and move whatever you cut. You can move it, so it'll be in place where you want it to be. I cut that ear a little bit too much. Yeah, you can try. You'll be surprised, man. I've seen people that have never painted, have never drawn anything, and they all of a sudden one day they just start doing it, and it clicks, man. You just never know. So all I need is the face. I don't need all of this. I don't need the mouth. I don't need the mouth. I don't need the eyes. I don't need these pieces because they're gonna be separate. They're not gonna be part of the face. Now I want you to now watch this. Once that's cut out like that. Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna cut this out here because I don't need any of this. I don't need I don't need the background or the teeth or the eyes or anything like that. Now, if you see what happened here, -6, it gave me thermo back. Gave me back thermo here. Let me see. So now we have the face, which is all we need. If you look at it, we got the face by itself. Everything else is separate. So what I do now is I have the face that's ready. I don't need this. Let me see. I don't need that. That was, man, I got kids watching. Hold on a second, man. So I have the face here, and what I'm gonna do now, since I don't need the face anymore, I'm going to press L1 and square, and then I'm gonna go here, and here where it says visible, I'm gonna turn it off, because I don't need to see that. I don't need to see the face anymore. So if now this second layer I want to do the eyes, all I have to do is L1 and X, scope in, and scope and cut out the eyes. So I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna cut out the eyes. I'm gonna cut out the eyes here like this, and I'm gonna remove everything else. So everything else is gonna get removed. And all I'm gonna leave is the eyes, because the eyes are its own layer. Matter of fact, I could do this now. Where, let me turn this red. If it lets me. I don't think it'll let me, because I was supposed to do that before. Now, once I have that done, hold on a second. I have to cut this out right there. Once those are done, L1 and square, visibility off, because I don't need them anymore. Now I did the face, I did the eyes, now I'm gonna do the mouth. Alright, so we're gonna do the hair now as a separate shape. I'll cut this out here. And then you could do the background as a separate shape too. You can just cut the whole character out and just leave the background. So I don't need this. So if I want, I could leave this last one. Oh, I think this the next one is for the shirt. So I'm gonna turn this off. Visible off. I'm just gonna do the shirt for last. I'm gonna cut out the shirt. And cut out everything else. So this I could actually just do this. Paint it white. Just have that as the background. So now what we do is we go over here. Over here to show and hide, and you turn this off. Preview invisibility. Turn it off, and it's gonna show you all the pieces. As you can see, you have all the pieces. They're not hidden. You go L1 and square, and you turn the visibility back on, so you can see it now. So you can see it. Then you go to the eyes. Turn that on. The teeth. Turn it on. The neck. Turn it on. The hair. Okay, so now everything should be visible. Yeah, everything's good. So now you can turn this back on, and everything's visible. Now to put everything together, you gotta go up here and turn the grid on. Turn the grid on and grab everything and put it back. So if the shirt is here, you wanna push everything back to put it all together. Like this. Just grab everything and put it in its place. Like that. So now when you look at it, it's all together. Everything is together, but it's separate. It's separated. Everything is a separate piece. Now I'm going to show you this other thing. If for some reason you want to turn the grid off, after everything's in place, you want to turn the grid off. Now if you look here, you see how there's like these gaps here, because this is where I cut. This is where I cut right here. And all I have to do is, if I click on this and I go over here to tools and I go to, let me see, is it move? Yeah, let me see. Okay. You see how I deleted that shape? Because that's where I cut. All I have to do is just cut it out. That's how I can fix this little problem right there. Just do like that, like that, like that, that, like that, and that's how I fixed it. You see that? Same thing with this right here. You see how you got a little gap right here? You can do two things. You can either stretch it, or you could just make the shape come back. So you do like this, you can go to stretch. So you can go to stretch and just do this if you wanted to, like that, to cover up that little mistake right there. You can just do that. Same thing here. Like if you cut too much right here, you can just click on it, go here, go to stretch, and you can just move this. You can just move this like this, and now it's fixed. So, and if you can't fix it, if you can't fix it that way, you can always just delete that piece and do it over. So you can just do it over now. Now that you see it, you can just cut it, cut it better. If you want to fix it, if you messed up, I mean. So you can always go back and fix your mistake. If you made a mistake cutting, or if you cut too much or you didn't cut enough, you can always just go back and use a stretch or the just cut it out. However, see, like if you see right here in the neck, you see how we got a little bit of extra right here of white. You just fix it like this. Fix that there, and we could fix this right here, like that. So now, now it's all a separate piece. So if I wanted to work on the mouth and I wanted to do all the detail that I want to do on the mouth, I would just scope in on the mouth, go over here to paint, spray paint, and see, and it only paints the mouth. It doesn't paint the face, it doesn't paint anything, it doesn't paint anything but the mouth. So if you want to work on the teeth, if you got some teeth that you want to work, oh, and always make sure you turn on the surface snap when painting. So if you want to work on the teeth here, let's say if I do this, it's just an example. See, you could easily just start working on the teeth, on the inside of the mouth. Let me see, like if you want to do some shading, you could do something like that. This is just a little, a little trying out here. This is just shading to show you that you can just work on the mouth all you want, do all the details that you want to do, and you don't have to worry about the thermo. You're not gonna have to worry about the thermo because the teeth, the mouth itself has 100% thermal. You're not gonna reach 100% thermal working on the mouth. That's not gonna happen. It won't make it anywhere near that. Like whatever, you can add anything. You can do whatever you want to it. Like that. And there you go. That's working on the teeth right there. Now, if you want to work on the face, you scope out, scope into the face, and now you could get. Let's say we get some pink, right? We get some pink, and you could do that. And it's only gonna paint the face. So yeah, that's how you do this. So yeah, you would do that like that. Scope out. If you want to work on the neck, you want to put like a shadow under the neck or something, you could do that. You see how that stands out? You see that? If you want to paint his hair a different color or whatever, let me see. We could do orange. You want to do some orange hair? You could do that, and it's gonna paint his only his hair orange. Now another thing, another benefit of doing it this way too is you can mess with the properties. So let's say the hair, this is his hair. I could go L1 square, and if you wanted to, you can change all. You can change the color. You could change the, all of this. You could do whatever you want. You can make it shiny. You can make it rough. You could do this. You could do this if you wanted to. You could do all kinds of stuff. You could do that if you want. You could turn this on. Whatever you want to do. If you want to change the color of this, you can. If you want to change the color of this, you want to make it red, you want to make it blue, want to make it purple. So that's the good thing about doing this way. You can mess around with all of these. You can even make it glow if you want it. Whatever. You could do all kinds of stuff. It's not just about painting. You can you could do all kinds of stuff. Now, let's say for the face, if I wanted to change the skin tone, I could do like this, and I could do that. So I can change that. You can go here and do this. You can do whatever you want. So that's the benefit of doing this way, is that you can mess around with each shape however you want. So it's not just about, you don't just have to change colors by painting and stuff like that. You can also use the tweak menu to make things different. So if I wanted to change this shirt, I don't have to paint it. I could just go to the tweak menu. If I want him, you know, let me see. If I want him to have a green shirt, I'm gonna make him have a green shirt. If I want him to have a yellow shirt, I could just change the color of the shirt right there. So that'll save you a lot of paint too if you just want to change the color like that. You know. And you gotta watch out too with this thing. You gotta make sure, because this is tint. So if you want to change that, So this is gonna finish. This is it for this tutorial video. I hope you learned something. And yeah, start painting, start messing around. It's fun. But this is just a little trick that I came upon, and it's helped me out a lot. I've been able to improve
Great
a lot
stuff.
of my paintings. So what happened? All right, man. All right, Beetlebum man. So this is it. Hope you learned something, and I'll catch you on the next video. Nice little trick here that I showed you, and hope to be seeing your paintings on the Dreamiverse. Thanks for watching. Later.